guys gotta be here on time. If you look at it, you're 2 minutes late. Are you listening to me, or do
Yeah.
I need to give detention?
No, I'm listening.
Why are we 2 minutes late? You guys coming in too. Now you're almost 3 minutes late. Why? You get 5 minutes between class. Why would you need 8? Right? Where are we coming from?
I was coming from the bathroom.
Okay, what's going on in the bathroom? Is a party in the bathroom or
No,
something?
there's just I had to wait because the things are full.
Yeah, what about you? Where are you coming from? A drink of water? What are you, a camel? Where are you coming from? Drink of water. Drink of the water's here. Is it?
Yeah.
There's one literally right there. Alright, we gotta find a way to get here on time. 3 minutes late. I don't want to start that late. Those of you that just came in, you guys can get a whiteboard. We're trying to do a warm up. If you want erasers, make sure if you're using these erasers, guys, use this side to erase. Don't use this side because then it's gonna get all dark and ugly looking. Nobody's gonna want to touch it. So use the dark side like this. That's good. Yes. Alright, that's what I was saying. I expect you to be able to do just about this whole thing, except I understand if you don't know how to multiply to get this one, and I understand if you are not sure how to multiply to get this one. But the other 4 should be good. But Mr. Garcia, should I just leave it blank? Nah, take an educated guess. What? I mean, it's a whiteboard after all. Might as well take a guess.
I bet Mr. Garcia. I had to wait.
Well, you shouldn't apologize to me. You should apologize to kids like Adam and the other kids that are done. And now I gotta give you time to start it. Thank you, sir. From the counseling. So Nolan's here, Shay's here, Carter's here,
Yeah.
James. They're only missing Caitlin, right?
Yeah. I don't think you can. Well, it was the bathroom was full and I had to wait. I couldn't go downstairs because it was taking more time, so I just had to wait. I can show it. It's
Oh, no, she changed something.
I know, but she's 6.
Dude, was it you? Was it you that did the thing that I told you about earlier? Was it 8th grade though? I don't know. I don't know. But all I heard is that that's what I said. Because, dude, serious.
Guys, just go back so you go to the back.
You said first
Is that John or Michael go back? Andrew, back to the room, go back. Back to the room, go back.
Do you know if there's a vending machine that works?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I'm
All right.
thirsty and I have money.
Somebody want to come up and try to do one of these. You can do any of them. You gotta explain your thinking though. Try to get people who I know haven't been up for a while. You haven't been up for a while. Which one are you gonna do, Steven?
I'm just going to do the bottom left one.
Bottom left one. You gotta hit a color first. There you go. And then, alright, what is 11 plus 5 gonna be? 16, good. And then multiply as the top. 55. Good job, that's right. Good job, Steven. Alright, now we got some negative ones. Everybody's hand went down. Devin, you want to try one? Alright, which one are you going to do, the middle or the right? the right.
The answer is yeah, I didn't see what you said yet.
No, that's it.
All right, -7 plus -8 is going to be -15. So far, so good. All right, let's check this. You got, so here's the thing. I haven't taught you how to do what's highlighted yet. I haven't taught you that a negative times a negative is actually going to equal a positive. So we're going to put that back for you. See if I can do this with a little bit lighter touch. Nice. All right, here's a saying to remember that. When bad things happen to bad people, that's good. Hey, that's a bad guy. He went to jail. That's bad for him. But that's good for us. We don't have to worry about it. Bad things happen to bad people. That's good. That's a saying that will work for only multiplying and dividing negatives. James, stretching or volunteering?
Oh,
Why?
I want to volunteer.
You went up last class.
I didn't.
Man,
I have the answer now, right?
well, we tested last class. You actually missed the test, so we gotta make that up eventually.
Could I get the
Yes.
Oh, see, I wanted to volunteer.
All right. See if James is right. So -7 plus, I'm sorry, 7 plus -5 is going to equal +2.
Can I fix it?
And this saying will work. This actually is correct. 7 times -5 is -37. The saying is, when good things happen to bad people, that's bad. Ethan, guys in the corner. When good things happen to bad people, that's bad. So, for example, this is a bad guy, and something good happened to him. He just won the lottery. Oh no, what is he going to do with his money? It's dangerous, right? That's bad. So, even if you flipped it, even if I flipped this, let me try to unrip that. Alright, even if I flip it, is that going to change either of these answers? No, because when good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to
You never
bad
changed it.
I didn't change it?
You just put -5 back into the negative.
Like this?
Yeah, that's how.
Alright,
That's
when
what.
bad things happen to good people, that's also bad. Like, for example, here's a good guy and he got sick. Something bad happened to him. That's bad. We want good things happen to good people.
Wait, so did he get it wrong?
No, he had it right.
Wait,
This
what?
is both right.
Oh wait,
Not -12.
no, that's not what I meant. That's not
No,
what
this is gonna be negative. This is gonna be 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is right.
Put it on -12.
No.
Alright, it feels like forever ago I assigned this worksheet. So put your caps on your markers.
Yeah, I don't have
Get
that.
this out. I'm gonna walk around and do a quick check to see who has it.
I don't have that. I'll do it
How
for
was that
homework on
year?
a separate piece of paper. Or do it in mentoring. That's how I do it in mentoring.
What's the point? I'm going over it now.
I know. That's true.
Why don't you have it though? That's another question. You didn't have enough time.
But yeah, no.
You didn't have enough time?
I had enough time. I just had.
Because you had a week, right?
Yeah, I had enough. I had enough time, but I just forgot to do it.
Can I remember my last word? I grabbed the wrong paper.
You want to grab this paper?
Yeah.
Alright. As you're going, I want you to read number 2 rule on that poster as you walk out 3 times. I want to hear it. Good.
Is it this?
Mr. Garcia was no, that is a checkpoint, so you're going to put that in the tray and I have to grade that.
Once you give us stuff.
Sorry.
It was last week sometime.
I wasn't here. Seriously, I know I'm finding you.
Garcia. Once you give this to us, I might not have been here. I don't think you were here. Yeah, I wasn't. Shut up. Yeah, Mr.
I don't. I'll have to make copies.
Alright.
Wait, no, this was adding. Adding it. No, I have copies for you guys.
Alright. Yeah, Mr. Garcia, I don't have one of those. I think I'm just paper though. I don't have it with me, but it's at home.
Okay, that's not. It doesn't do anything.
Should I just do a blank paper or should I get a
You should
I do
have
blank
the one I
paper.
gave you.
I did.
Can you get it out?
No, like I had it. Right up there.
It's at
Just sit down. There's nothing I can do for you guys if you don't have it. There's
yeah,
no
Mr.
point.
Garcia. I lost mine.
Hey, at least you're being honest. That's all I want.
Yeah, I lost mine. I never got one.
Yeah, I left my
I passed it out at the end of class, right?
I never got one.
James, did you get the homework when I passed it out?
I got it.
Colin, did you have the homework when I passed it out? Right? So did I walk around passing it out to everybody?
No, you
Or was I handing it out as you go out the door?
You were handing out the door. You must have skipped it. Or she must have left before you started handing it out.
You gotta be more, you gotta stay and make sure you get everything before you leave.
Oh yeah, Mr. Garcia, that's the one day that you gave it out late. You said, okay, like you told Lyle. No, I don't know. I don't know what time you told us.
Yeah, you did it late, but it's okay. But Mr. Garcia,
Because like people start talking about
I got it, but I lost.
Okay, there's not, I don't want to hear anything from you right now.
I did it. I think. I did it, but I lost it. James, I did it, but I lost it.
I never got it.
Wait, actually, it might be in a folder that I have.
Wait, should I do it?
It actually might be in a folder.
This guy never. Dad explains how.
Dang, it's not up here. Never mind, I thought I had it.
There it is.
I had to run last period. I had to run last period.
Did you race?
Yeah.
Did you?
No. Potato fire. Marvin 2.0 didn't. Marvin 2.0 was the best, but then wah wah wah. Marvin 2.0 that potato fire. And then
I gave it to everybody. I'm walking around. Everybody has it. I'm pretty sure I gave it to everybody.
no, you would walk around specifically and give it to people, and then we were out of time, so then we had to set it. I did it. I looked at home I did it, but I didn't focus. I should have had it off. I'll look for it. I'll let you know if I find it. That's one.
Alright, so, let me clarify something. Alright, not everything that I print out is going to be a checkpoint. Sometimes, I just want you to practice what we're learning, and this is one of those times with homework. Now, if you don't have it, everybody has a story. My dog ate it, I left it at home, you never gave it to me, whatever. But make sure that you're getting what I pass out at the end of class, okay? And then second of all, you need to be responsible. So essentially, you could not do it and just say, I did it and left it at home. How do I know? I don't know. If you don't have it, you're literally missing out on a opportunity to review something that is confusing to a lot of kids. Adding and subtracting integers is what we're learning. I'm not going to give you a checkpoint of 3 problems. I think you guys need to do a lot of problems of this. Put my cap on my marker and put it away, please. I'm going to track when I assign homework, whether it's a con or it's a piece of paper. And once you have 2 or 3 consecutive, or, let's say you don't do 3 and a 5. I'm concerned about that, and I think I should call home to let your parents know, hey, I believe as the math teacher, you learn math by doing math. So if you're not doing math, you're not learning math. I don't know how much work you guys were expected to do last year, but I am stepping it up. If you do what you've always did, you're going to get what you always everybody's got, right? And I told you my goal. Did I show you guys the 80%? Okay. We don't even have 80% of kids with their homework. So this is concerning to me. My goals are very important to me and for you. I don't want you to be one of those 29 students that end up being a senior and you can't graduate because you stink at math and you can't do math. My goal is to put you in position to do it and do it well. I will lose sleep if you have 29 of you can't graduate. You did all that work from kindergarten all the way to 12 and you don't even get a piece of paper saying you finished. That would be disgusting. And this right here is not something you just learn and we're going to like forget about. You're going to use this idea when we're combining like terms, solving equations. This idea goes a long way, adding and subtracting. You're going to see this for the next 5 years of your life, adding, subtracting, adding. I'll tell you when you see something, and I'll straight up tell you, you're never going to see this again. And I'll tell you when something's important. Adding, subtracting integers is super important. It's almost like adding and subtracting regular numbers, except you're going to use negative numbers for algebra and algebra 2 and geometry. You're going to see this all over the place. All right. Now, unfortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you don't have it because you were absent, I understand. But at the same time, here's an email from, I'm going to show you real quick. Here's an email I got from Molly. She goes, "Hey, good morning. I'm not gonna be in today. Can I get the homework?" And I just attached it and sent it to her. Don't be afraid to email me. I have all the 7th grade, in addition 15 6th graders. Am I expected to know what each and every one of you are doing and need at all times? Is it realistic to know what 150 kids need? No. I try, but at the same time, I tape stuff on the windows the best that I can. I'm going to do the first two, and then I'm going to just go around and call them. All right, this is the number line way. I'm going to do it 2 different ways. Some people use the number line. First number is -1. So we start at -1, they go +5. Am I going to go to the right or left? It's going +5. Yes, Owen? Going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they already have a dot there. I don't even know why they did that. But this would be +5. This is one way some people use the number line. It works out. The other way some people might use it will be they start at 0, and then they draw an arrow. To go +4, you're going to go +4, stop, and then it's going to go -6. So they're going to go -6 this way. So they're going to go 4, -6, and they get to -2. All right. Number line, it works. It's actually, they want you to be able to use number line in 7th grade. That's one of the standards, actually. All right, any questions on this? You guys feel good with number line? Yeah.
Since I just finished this,
Just hold on to it. We're going over it.
since I was absent, it's just excused, but can I get things?
I'm not giving, it's just practice. It's not a checkpoint. The other thing is a checkpoint. So the other thing I want in ordering numbers. This is just homework. I can't give points for it on the platform. I wish I could. I would give 3 points, and then if you don't have it, I would give 0 points. But I can't give anything. Courtney, what'd you get for number 3? -1. Alright, it's gonna be okay. So it's negative number plus negative number. It's like you owe David $51, you owe Gabby 9. So if you add that debt together, you owe 60. So what's the new number you think it might be? -60. You owe 60. Good. Highlight the ones, or highlight or circle the ones that you get wrong. This is good feedback. You will see which type of problems you're missing. Gabby, you ready? What'd you get for number 4? -21. Well, you have $27 and you're giving Lexi 6. You still have money? Yeah. You started with 27. So you still have, if 6 plus -6 equals 0, then 27 plus -6 has got to be more than 0. You got a second guess? Very like subtraction. What's 27 minus 6? 21. The answer is 21. See what I mean about this is good practice? I'm not going to give you 4 problems for a checkpoint and think, oh, that's sufficient. Right? Yes. You want to do this one? All right, jump in. What is 1 plus negative 30 going to be? Negative 29 is correct. Good. Sarah, what did you get for number 6? Negative 10 is good. All right. Rough start, but we're picking up steam. You want to give us a try out? But it's which one's more? Is there more?
Oh yeah. Just one.
It's going to be 43. Good recovery. Darius. Negative 34. Good job. Let's just go around that table so I can get everybody.
Mr. Garcia,
Yes.
I can't see the word.
You just call me fat.
No.
I know. I'm just joking.
No.
That's fine. I already looked at it.
All right. Marty, what'd you get for number 9? Negative 14 is good. Grayson, what'd you get for? I'm sorry, Brooklyn, what'd you get for number 10?
Negative 40.
Negative 40. Good. Jessica, 11. Negative 6. Good. Kaya, 12.
12.
12 is 12. Yeah, that's ironic. Colin, 13.
Negative 22.
Negative 22. And then James, you think you could do 12 plus negative 14?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Good job. All right. Is there any questions on 3 through 14? Questions?
I got number 9 wrong.
All right, number 9. So let's think of how we can think of this. Number 9. All right, let's say the temperature starts off at negative 23 degrees, but it gets warmer by 9. Where is it going to stop at? Well, unfortunately, my number line doesn't go to 23, but imagine it did. You would go warmer to the right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'd end up at negative 14. Or you could think of money, like
You get $23.
you owe Marty $23, but then you paid him $9. Is he saying, hey, you don't owe me anymore, or does he still expect the rest? He expects the rest, which would be 14. Yeah. Alright. Let's go. I don't think we got to the back. Nothing. Oh, and what'd you get for 15?
For 15,
Yeah.
let's see, I got 13.
Positive.
Negative 13.
Negative 13. It's negative 15.
Oh, no, it's negative.
We might have just subtracted wrong, but at least you're thinking the right way, right? Shay, did you find it? Oh, this is-
Mr. Garcia, I got Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia,
Yeah.
I remember all my answers I had on my paper. I did it. I just forgot it.
Okay, that doesn't do me any good.
I know, but I had the answer 16.
You already answered. We keep going. Shay, what'd you get for number
16.
16? Huh? Not sure. You didn't do that section, huh? Here, let me give you an easy one. What about 19? What if we had negative 20 plus 20? What would that be? 0. Alright, so you got this one, 0. Alright, let's go back to 16 for
Well, I got
yes, negative 24. Ryan, what'd you get for 17? Positive 13? Alright. Did I call this table at all? I'm gonna try to get out of your way.
okay.
Devin, what'd you get for 18? Negative 30. Good job. Who else had it? Here, Joseph, try this one. What's negative 30 plus 12? Positive or negative 18? I mean, negative 18. Is it the same answer if you go, hey, I put 18, the answer is negative 18? Are those the same numbers? No, they're different. So make sure you're putting the right symbol if it is negative. Any questions on this section? All right, let's move to the next one. I don't want the answer. I want you to tell me how you would set up the expression to get the answer. All right, so number 21 says, the temperature rose 9 degrees in 3 hours. If the starting temperature was negative 5, what is the final temperature? What number in that problem is useless?
3.
Raise your hand. All right, Carter.
The 3 hours.
3 hours. That is a trick number that you will not use at all. All right, somebody want to set it up for me?
I can. Ooh,
All right, Darius. How how would we like set this up to solve?
You just count up and down. You just count
But like
-5.
that's how you would do it.
9.
How would you write? Because sometimes in the state assessment they say type in an expression. How would you type this in?
Oh, -5 plus -9.
All right.
-5 plus 9.
-5 plus 9. Is he right? Yes,
Okay.
this is right. You don't need parentheses. That would be good. The temperature rose by 9, so it's rising from 9, but it started at -5. That is actually a perfect one. Good job. And it would equal 4. All right, now for the harder one. Matt is playing a game. He gains 7 points, loses 10, gains 2, loses 8. What's his final score? I don't want the answer. I want the expression.
I got it.
Bro,
7 minus 10.
hold on. 7 minus 10. All right. Keep going.
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
Equals 4.
All right.
How do you do the next one?
Minus 8 equals -9.
All right. Let's see if it is -9. She's correct. Now, some people might have written it like this in blue. They might have said 7 plus -10. Good morning. The one I'm most familiar with is I actually have
I need water. Yeah. The different I need water. I'm gonna pass out from dehydration.
Do you have a headache?
Yeah. Adam, I have a question for you. You probably don't want to talk about it here. Who threw the first one? Adam.
We still got 50.
I didn't even throw anything. Really? I just got suspended anyway. So I thought that like private question back and I would get suspended. I got suspended.
Did Joey actually?
What?
Did Joey?
I don't know. Yeah, Joey did. Joey did. He went to Mensa every other week, so he just went to Mensa full time.
Hey, is this one down here? I moved it to the star.
Yeah. Yeah. What?
Back to what I was saying. Some people might have written this as 7 plus -10, and then they would have plus 2, plus, and they would have -8. Is that wrong? Okay, let's just check. I think when Brooklyn was going through, she said this was going to be -3. This would be -1 minus 8, and then this would be -9. If you did it in the blue, it's the same thing. You're gonna learn how to do this today. I don't know who's talking over me. Can you pick that up real quick? There's 2 of them. Aiden, someone. Who are you talking to? Alright. This is what we already learned. You're going to learn that this means the same thing as that. Long story short, this would be -3 plus 2 plus -8. This would be -1 plus -8, and you would still get -9. So it doesn't matter how you think about it. Either way would get you the same answer. Alright. Now, as far as evidence goes, this is considered evidence. Like, you could consider this to take your thing. Now, you got to learn how to multiply and divide. Today, you're going to learn how to subtract. So let's get notes for that. So, get out your notebook. You don't have to write this page down, but get out your notebooks in the meantime. Yeah. You guys see it? Hurry up.
I feel like it's dehydrated.
We gotta get on water.
Drink water. You got your notes ready to go?
Yeah, it's my notebook. It's my.
Why are you already that far into your notebook? Oh, okay, this is the beginning. I'm thinking about it backwards.
No.
Yeah, go get a drink. Come back.
Can we recycle our practice?
You can hold on to it. You can use it as evidence.
Yeah. How would the I was not thinking that way.
Hold on to your whiteboards. We're gonna be coming back to them here in a moment. All right. All right. Somebody give me the sum of two integers that's gonna result in a positive. So I want a lot of vocabulary here. So like, what's sum mean? To what type of problem? Devin? It means adding. So I want you to give me an addition problem with two integers, again integers, that's going to end up being a positive number. Don't be afraid to be wrong. It's okay. Colin?
9 plus negative 3.
Oh, 9 plus negative 3. Because what's that going to equal?
6.
He gave me a sum of two integers, and it ended up being a positive. What's a number that wouldn't have been used in blue to give me a positive? What would mess Colin's answer up? Steven?
9 plus negative
9 plus negative 9 would it be positive? It would equal 0. Good. Let's go to the middle one. What about give me a sum of two integers that results in a negative? Lexi?
Negative 7 and plus.
Plus 2. Negative 7 plus 2 is going to equal negative 5. Good. Somebody else have a different one? What about give me a sum of two integers that will result in a negative that will be smaller than both of the numbers that you use? How would that happen? What were you going to say? You might have it.
Well, I was.
Oh, I want to do one more on this one. What is a sum of two integers, but your answer is actually, because you're adding, your answer is going to be smaller than both the numbers you use. Yeah. Negative 1 plus 2 is going to equal positive 1. No, I want a negative number that's going to be smaller than, what if I changed this and I changed this? What's another number I can put in there, James? Negative 1 plus negative 1 equals negative 2. Yeah, this would work too. Good job. Is it negative 2 smaller than both of these? Yeah. You could have said negative 3 plus negative 7, because that would equal negative 10. Alright. Give me a sum of two integers that does not result in a positive or negative. Oh, it's going to be adding them. 7 what? Seven plus negative 7. Good. This is going to equal 0. That's called the additive inverse. You guys still got your boards? You don't have to write down the problem. Just write down the answer. And hold it up. I'm going to say yes or no. And then you put it down. Now, if you hold it up to me, just hold it up to me. You don't have to do this bad boy. Then everybody can see it. Right. Good, Adam. Good, Colin.
Dang it.
Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Good, good, good.
I found a bottle.
Good.
I found a bottle in my locker, so I just filled it with water. Mr. Garcia, I found a bottle in my locker, so I just filled it with water.
Alright,
Congrats.
this is going to be negative 5. You erase your board, try this one. What is the sum of negative 6 and 12?
Wait, what are we doing? Is it snow to know?
We're just doing practice on the board, so hold it up. Right. Right. Good. Good, 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 good. Good.
Ethan can't hold my
Good, good.
Yeah, I just tried.
Good. Good. Good, good, good.
I did it.
I can't see.
6.
Oh. Is it dead?
Yeah, I think it is. There's a marker right here, Mr. Garcia. It's right here.
Then use that one.
Okay.
And when you
Done.
this one can be thrown away. Good. 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 Alright, the answer here, if -6 plus 6 equals 0, then if you're going plus 12, it's going to be more than that. The answer's going to be 6. You're going to treat it like subtraction.
Slip my finger.
Try this one. -1 plus -46.
I always do that. I always slip my finger with my finger. I don't know why.
Yeah. 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 Good, 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 good. Wait. Yes. Yes. Good, good,
I did it.
good. Good, good, good. Good, good. Good, good. Good.
Alright.
Good now, good. Ethan, that's off by a little bit. Good. Good. Alright, here's side conversations. Can we not do that right now? Ethan, what should it be? I think you realized. -47. You owe somebody $1, you owe somebody else 46. Together, when you add it up, you owe them 47 combined. Yes.
Isn't it though, like if a bad thing happens to a bad person, it's good?
Only when you're multiplying or dividing. Okay? Yes. Yes.
Oh, no one.
Yes. You thought right. You just
Wait, what's the problem, Mr. Garcia?
sorry. -34 plus 50 is good, James. Good, Gabby. Steven's good. John's good. Shane good. Ryan good. Good. You thought right. You just did the math wrong. Math is wrong, but you thought right. That's good. 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 No. Good. Good.
He enlarged the
Oh.
form.
I don't get it.
Subtract it. See, you want to subtract it.
Oh yeah, I get it. Because I was confused with the 30. So I didn't do that.
James, look.
When you treat this like subtraction, you're gonna get +16.
Dude, isn't that what the scar? I just
Let's try a few more. This will be the last page.
I opened,
Let's try this
dude,
one.
I opened this, but I want like this.
Good.
I want like
No,
this, and split my
Good.
finger.
Good. 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 Good.
I have the answer. I have to write it down.
Man, I don't know.
Good.
Oh, wait, no, wait, I'm wrong.
I would love this.
No? No, you're good. Alright. Alright, let's think about this a different way. If I wanted to use counters and I want to represent this would be -10, 10 of them. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this over here would be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we have any of those zero out? No. So if you combined all those negatives together, it would make -17.
-45 plus 9.
Yes. Yes.
I did that one in my head.
Good. Good. You're thinking right. You just did the math. This is subtracting again. Good. 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 thought right. You just subtracted wrong.
No,
Good,
two
good.
off. You're two off.
You subtracted wrong. Good.
You're
You
two
thought
off.
right. Good.
You're
Good.
two off.
Oh,
36.
Good. Good. Anybody else working on it? All right.
oh yeah.
You thought right. You just subtracted wrong. All right. If you guys aren't good with doing this stuff in your head, don't be afraid to set it off to the side. I see some boys in the back doing that. That's good. You can borrow. So it should be negative 36. Should be able to do this one in your head also.
Oh, it's easy. I think.
Good.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Marty, no. That's good back there.
I got it.
Good. Go ahead. Good.
Mr. Garcia.
Good.
Mr. Garcia, I just noticed this. James, look what I just noticed.
Alright, Andrew. You give. Okay. What's the temperature right now?
I didn't even.
Let him walk through it. Harder. What's the temperature right now? Cold, right? And then it's warming up 10. So if it warms up 10 to negative 30, what's the end anything? Not helping you. Let me try a different way. You owe Devin 30 and you paid him 10. Do you still owe money? How much do you owe him? You owe him 20. So last one.
Mr.
38 plus negative 5.
Mr. Garcia, I just noticed this. This was on it.
Okay, that's what I mean.
I got most of it off. I just started rubbing it.
Captain markers after this problem, you don't need them after. This whole table's good, and that's good.
Mr. Garcia.
Lexi's good. Shay, good. Good.
Mr. Garcia, I've been getting it off slowly. Just by rubbing it, I've been getting it off.
Ooh! Good. Treat like subtraction. No, cap them. Don't put them back. Just cap them. Good. Alright, you should have 33. Did you notice how towards the beginning it was a lot yes, no, you thought wrong. And then at the end it was a lot of yes. I noticed that. Right? It took 8 examples. Imagine if everybody did their homework. That's all I'm saying. It takes a little bit of practice and you get better. Let's have a conversation. I have 3 different students' work up here, and I want you to tell me whose work is better for the same problem. This is Shane. So Shane, it looks like Shane's strategy. Somebody actually want to explain to me what Shane's doing here? What is Shane? Steven.
I think that Shane put lines there so he could be like, so there's one negative and one positive, and then he circled which one that it was like, so he circled like eight positives.
Okay, he drew 34 negatives and he drew 8 positives, and then he did group the positive and negative together because they canceled out. And then it was left with, you count them up, he was left with 26 negative. That's his work. Did it get the right answer? Yes. Alright, so that's one strategy. Let's look at a different strategy. Let's look at Alexis comparably. This is not this Alexis, these are other kids. Alright, what did Alexis do? Her strategy. She still ended up with negative 26. Devin. Yeah, maybe I should twist it for you guys. She used a number line. She has the negative, she has the positive. She she went negative 34, Carter, and then she went positive 8 and ended up at about negative 26.
Oh, I think.
Alright, let's time the vote. So you're voting between Alexis and Shane. Raise your hand if you think Shane's way is better. One.
I think Shane's
Oh, feel free. It's not a right or wrong answer.
I think it's just monster.
Give me a reason why you think this one's better if somebody that has their hand up. Yeah, Colin.
Because it's easier to understand.
It's easier for you to understand. Okay. Raise your hand if you think the number line way's better.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Somebody want to tell me why they think this way is better than the other way? Kaya?
Because it's easier.
Better.
It's like better and it doesn't take as much time.
You think this takes less
Neither.
time? I'll be honest with you. I think this way takes less time. I think they're kind of. I wouldn't be. I'd be okay if you guys split. I think they're both equally as good of a strategy. But I think this one had more votes. So I want to compare this way to the last student. The last student is Ladashe. All right. So.
It's more gosh. Well, that's how they pronounce it.
Did you make these?
No.
No,
this
that's
is
actually the
the
real
girl I
name.
taught. I was like,
Really?
true story.
The dash
The
is
handwriting
inside
is all the
the
same.
Look,
It's all the
look.
same.
Look
It's all the same.
All right, you got me. This is all my handwriting. But I will say, I do have a story. I did when I was at YSU going to college. They make teachers go to college to be a teacher. They have to go to different schools for different classes. And the one class I had to go to East Youngstown, and I was like, I saw this name, right? And I was like, I don't know how to pronounce it. So this was me trying to do this. I was my first attempt was La-A-A. And then I was like, oh, that's not right. And then I was like, la. No, it's not it. And then she goes, it's pronounced La-A. I was like,
Well, that's weird. Because most of
You
them
say
are
dash.
full of dash.
yeah. You see that? Yeah.
Latasha.
Is that her actual name?
Latasha is
Are you serious?
All right. I will never forget. So I was like, all right, I thought
My
it'd be
mom
funny.
has one of them.
Mr. It's kind of like the latte.
Yeah.
In that he likes
Yeah.
video.
There's this guy's name.
Ethan, I was almost good. And girls up front. There's only two people that I caught talking in the middle. Not bad, the rest of you. All right, back to conversation. We're gonna compare. This one was the winner to this one. Ladashe says, I'm gonna treat this like subtraction because they're different signs. So she does the subtraction, makes 26, and then she goes, I think it's gonna be negative 26 because the negative number had a greater absolute value than the positive, which means it's further from 0. So I'm gonna put it at negative 26. Raise your hand if you think Alexis is still the winner. Raise your hand. We got a couple. Raise your hand if you think this way is better. I'm thinking about it. And there's a lot of you that didn't vote. I agree this way is the best. I would, in my opinion, this way would probably be better, depending on, and then this way would be good. What's the flaw? What's the flaw with this way? What's something that's wrong with this way that, like, you know it could be, like, the flaw in it? Gabby? Yeah. You have a big number. It's gonna. Did I have trouble fitting this on a piece of paper the regular way? Yeah, I had to go from top left to bottom right. I had trouble. You might not even be able to finish it on the page. What's the problem with this one? Owen?
This one can be the same exact problem if you have a different one, but you could also get around that saying that like one dash equals like 10.
See, now that's thinking. He's saying if you want to, you can make one big dash represent 10, and then you could use big numbers. But the flaw would be usually, would you want to use this theory if you had negative 2,040 78 plus 92? No, you would not want
I
to do
can
that.
fix that problem right here.
I'm sure you could, but still, that would be a lot of, I think it might be easier if you had that problem than just subtract it, like Ladashe did. Alright, you guys have your notebooks out. Title of the top page, subtracting integers. Today's date is 9/19. That was,
You can't
Wait,
flip
use
it,
the
Jay.
same notes.
I already did that.
yes. What?
What?
You may use this as notes. So now you have adding integers notes. You have subtracting integer notes. You have adding integer homework. You're gonna have homework on this. The only one you have to learn now is multiplying and dividing, and you're set.
Dang, that's
Are you gonna teach multiplying?
Of course, I will
No.
teach multiply and divide. Yes. No.
Next class? Or probably next week?
Probably next week. Because next class I have to give TLT time and a checkpoint.
You do?
Yes. Good luck. Let's see. I'm gonna hold on to this, and I'll see if more kids have their homework next time we come in. Does that sound like a good deal?
it's a good book.
Let's see.
It's good though.
You gotta give him $1 and
I'm gonna test this out. What period is this?
Fifth.
Fifth. Good luck.
What happens if it fails? Well, I have.
By the way, you should not be making those in class.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Alright, there's two ways to do subtraction. One way is to use the number line, and then when you subtract, you're going to move left. The other way, okay, since you guys, we were doing the whiteboard practice, and you guys pretty much were getting it at an accuracy rate of about 95% right, way two might be a better way to do it. Because you guys are good now at adding integers, I feel. We've had homework. We've had a little whiteboard practice. We've had some discussions on it. If you think you're good at adding integers, you can always think of subtracting as the same as adding. I'll show you how to do that. But some of you are thinking, oh, this number line thing might work out too. The vocab word up there is difference. So if you ever see difference, that means we're subtracting. Somebody have a older sibling in here?
I am me.
Let's go with Courtney. How old is your sibling? How old are you?
13.
What is the difference in age?
2.
Years. 2 years. What type of math did she do? She did 15 minus 13. She did 2. And what word did I say? What's your difference in age? Even though you know, if you ever see difference, you need to subtract. Let's try one more. Who has a younger sibling? All right, Kaya. How old is your sibling?
6.
How old? 7. How old are you?
12.
What's the difference?
12 and what? 7?
12 and 7. 4 or 5. It all depends on the months. If we're going to use the exact numbers, we'd say 5, but 4 could be closer than 5. Who knows?
I have another.
Joseph?
I have another one.
You're 8?
No.
Oh. How old are you?
No.
13. So what's the difference?
5.
Oh. No.
5.
Called
Can,
it.
hold on, let me. I see a couple of ways that you guys are doing your subtraction. I can't read your mind, but I think I know what you're doing. I think you're starting at 13 and you're counting backwards by 8. It might be more efficient to start at 8 and go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then count up. That'd be quicker. Am I right? Is that how you're thinking?
Yeah.
You didn't think that way?
No, I
Mr.
Nolan.
Garcia.
My brother's 18.
And how old are you?
You're 19.
So, what's the difference? See, that's what I'm thinking. I have one baby right now, and she's 6 months, and I'm like, everybody says, when are you gonna have another? And I'm like,
Never.
well, it's not like we're eating tacos. You don't just have one after the other, because there's a lot of work raising a kid. So I was like, maybe I'll have another one in 6 or 7 years. That way I can get an extra pair of hands, because right now it's a lot of work being a mommy and daddy, more than you think it is. I gave all your I give all your parents credit for all the hard work it took to. Right? All right.
Are you recording this?
Yeah, I told you to record this.
That's why you did that.
Let's look at the number line way. I'm going to show you how to do this. You can start at -3, and then because we're going -2, just like you would say 4 minus 1 would be 3, you're hopping to the left. So we're going to hop to the left 2. Where do we end up at? -5. That's one way to think about the number line. Question about that? Yes. I want that to be one strategy to use. Okay, now it's time for the other way that I do it.
Wait, Mr. Hanning, down.
I'm not moving on yet. How come it's not letting me? Are you still good with this if I move down like that?
Yeah, I can see the number line.
Sounds. No. Alright. So you can add its opposite. That sounds confusing, but this is what it literally means. If you have -3 minus 2 and you're not sure, let me try to make that look more like a 2. And you're not sure exactly how to do this, you can start off with -3, you just write that number, and then you add, so I'm going to put the plus sign, and instead of adding 2, you add its negative. The opposite of 2 would be -2. So now it's just like what we learned last week. What is -3 plus -2? It's going to be -5. Okay, if you don't like this way, it's okay. But these are the two ways that I think is best explaining it. Think about a number line, or you can add its opposite. I just did whiteboard practice, and if I did this, everybody would have gotten it right? If I gave you this, some people would put -1, +1, like people would get this confused. Carter, question.
I think the number line is easier because I use like my fingers as the number line to do it too.
That's fine. But sometimes we might have bigger numbers that don't fit on a number line.
Yeah, that's true.
But until then, use the number line. Are you ready for some examples?
Yeah.
All right. Example 1. 3 minus 8. Do you want to do this together, or do you want me? No, you're going to do it in your notebook. These are examples. Do you want to do it together, or do you want to do it around?
It's just 3 minus 8.
3 minus 8.
I don't know if it's negative or not.
Wow.
No, it's not.
Is there a negative sign?
No, it's just 3 minus 8. So you can think number line way on this. There's one up there if you're not sure.
Well, I mean, this is.
How many steps is that?
How many? But just wait. Just do one at a time. Some of them will be longer than others.
I'm thinking there's I want to have like 3 pieces in toast using. You can only have 1.
Wait, Mr. Garcia, you got help from Dunkin' Donuts and we get him like. I don't like as recipes.
Then I move back.
Oh.
Alright, let's go over this together.
No, I just
Alright, I'm going to make sure I let the teachers know when Ethan wants to take integers, make sure you check his notes because I know he didn't take them in this class. Why wouldn't you just take them in this class? Because you might as well, you're in here doing it with everybody else, you can ask questions, you can participate. Why would you want to listen to Con tell you how to do it and then write it down?
I'm not asking.
Well then how are you going to have your notes to take the assessment?
I will go in the assessment, take the drop down and figure out from the website and take it from the
Why wouldn't you give it when I'm giving it to you? Are those notes better than mine?
I don't know, I haven't looked yet.
Alright, well, for everybody else that's doing what they're supposed to, should have got -5. I'm gonna show you both ways to think about it. One way is number line. You start at 3, and then you're going minus 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You end up at negative 5. Or somebody think they could set this up for me as adding the opposite? Alright, what's another way to think about this? How would I write this as adding the opposite? That's still foreign for you guys. You start with the first number 3 plus, and then you're gonna put negative 8 like this. And this would equal negative 5 too. So that's the other way you can do it. Yeah.
The way that I did it was, I did like 8 minus 3, which was 5, and then still 5 on the right always, and then -5 since we're going to negative.
Okay, so I think another way to say that is you're thinking about it as 3 minus 3 is 0, but it's not 3. It's 5 more away from 3, so it's gonna be negative 5. If you have other ways to explain it better than me, I'm all ears. Adam. Yes. Alright, example 2, try this one. 5 minus 9. Raise your hand if you get an answer. I will double tap you if you're correct.
You double tap, you said?
Yeah, if I go like that, that means you're right.
Let me do it.
Just write that answer.
Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia, these baguettes you can do trick shots. You did. I don't feel like that. I feel like this.
Alright. Can you not do that? Alright, so the answer here should have been negative 4. If you want to, you can think about it as 5 plus negative 9 would also equal negative 4, or you can look at the number line and think about it that way. Are you allowed, if you're taking this assessment, are you allowed to write a number line on the top of the page or on the side if you want to? Yeah. You're allowed to. So how should you write a number line? Do it. Okay, now for the math rule, that is probably in the top 3 most missed, most forgotten math rules. The rule is minus minus is going to become plus plus. So let's say it together. I'm going to say minus minus, you say plus plus. Minus minus becomes
Plus, plus.
yes. They have to be right. The minus minus symbols have to be right next to each other. If I had a highlighter, I do have. I would highlight that. That is a. I will not only show you examples of this, I'm going to try to explain why. It is not an easy thing to explain, but I will try my best.
Wait, Mr. Garcia.
Sorry, I'm
No,
here.
you good. You good.
Who sits there right now?
Kaylin sits right next to Colin.
You want to sit there for right now if you don't talk?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I will.
I like your honesty. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
don't.
got student of the week last week.
Yeah.
Did you get anything for that? You got t-shirt or anything?
I got a piece of paper.
Certificate?
Yeah, I got a certificate.
Your picture taken?
Yeah. And I get to do announcements every morning. You get to do the announcements every morning. Yeah, I did that. I did it today. There's like 4 of us that do it. So far, she's gonna have days for every student of the week to do it. It's weird.
Yes. Wait till he comes back. Make sure you guys are grabbing that pass and signing out.
I sign out. I'm almost done. Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia. I think Joey said they moved schools.
That's fine.
Because
I don't want to get better now. I want to keep going in my class.
did you know that he made Mensa?
What?
Did you know Joey made Mensa?
I just said I don't want to hear about it right now.
That's awesome. I think it's good that he did it.
Alright. You don't have to write this down. I want you, this is my attempt to try to explain why. Imagine you're playing this card game, and whatever cards you have in your hand, so this is your hand, you add your points together. So the first card, Ethan, it's one thing if you're not doing what I'm supposed to, if you're supposed to. It's another thing if you're going to be talking. One thing I'll tolerate, and that's you wasting time, if you're just wasting your time. I'm not going to let you waste Colin or Steven or anybody else's time. Do you understand?
Yep.
You can sit there and be bored. Okay. Just do what I'm asking you to do. I'm trying to make you better, man. I'm trying to make you better.
Get you out of the summer swamp.
Alright. Summer slump, whatever it's called. We're adding our cards together. So if we have 3 plus -9, we're adding our score together. What would this person's score be if we were to add these together?
5.
Raise your hand. And
Negative
it's not 5.
5.
Thank you. It would be -5. Alright, so now let's say this person's drawing another card. So this person draws.
Wait, it would be
It'd be
-6.
it'd be
Oh, I'm sorry.
never
Negative
I'll do like
It's 3, not 4.
it's a 3, not 4.
Okay, so now, if we're drawing another card, we're now drawing a -2. Alright, so we already had -6, but now we're drawing a -2. What is the score going to be after this new card? Devin. -8. Alright. And you know how some card games that you could discard? What does our score go to when we get rid of -2?
-6.
It goes to -6. So think about it. When you discard, which is the same as subtracting, when you subtract the -2 from your hand, that means your score is going up too. It's almost like adding. Sometimes when you get rid of something bad, that's good. Like the Browns with Josh Gordon.
Oh.
Well, they're thinking if they get rid of Josh Gordon, because he was late to the facility and he was trouble in the locker room, that might make the team better.
He was the best receiver they had. I mean, like,
Alright,
except Landry. I mean,
addition by subtraction. That is kind of what this is. Do you want me to try to show you? Does that make sense? Sort of. I could try to show you a hot air balloon way, but that might be worse. Here, I'll try to.
Mr. Gussie, do you know a good math game, a card game that me and my mom and dad play? Rummy. We play Rummy, and it's basically all math. Rummy's a good math game. You get to discard and my card.
Yeah.
See what points you get.
Alright, this is my attempt to try to explain it another way. Imagine we have this hot air balloon. It is floating. And it's at 0. When you add balloons to it, it's going to rise in elevation. When you put sandbags, it's going to fall. So sandbags are negative, the hot air balloons are positive. So if I was to attach 3 of these bad boys, just imagine that's attached. If I was to attach these, what's going to happen? It's going to rise? How many?
Well, don't hot air balloons go up by fire. And
It is fun.
Okay.
Imagine this fun. Come on, I'm trying to explain a concept.
If he
Somebody tell me how much it goes up by.
3.
1, 2, 3. Alright, so they're up 3. Now they attach some, I don't know how they're going to attach, maybe some birds drop them off, but they attach 2 sandbags.
Maybe some crap.
Alright, the sandbags are going to weigh it down to 2. So are we in agreement that we just had 3 plus -2 is equaling 1, right? Okay. What happens if somebody on this hot happens if they subtract? So we have 3 minus 2. What happens if they subtract the negative 2? What's going to happen if they subtract negative 2 by cutting these off? Let me see if I can cut them off. Group, ungroup. So they fall off. Is this hot air balloon going up or down? Going to go up. 2. Because we subtracted 2. So let's just check that. I mean, I think this hard way was easier to understand, but for some people it's going to make sense. We had 1, and then with minus minus became plus plus. We ended up going up 2 more. When we cut the negatives off, we went up from here to here. That's the best that I can do. But now somebody asked for examples. Here's some examples of minus minus becomes plus plus. One of them is not minus minus plus plus plus, so be careful. I'm gonna write. Are these right next to each other? Yes, they're touching. Like they are right next to each other. This is called plus plus. When you have them right next to each other, it becomes plus plus. Some teachers will say they say whenever you see that, just immediately go plus plus, just like make them plus signs.
So it will be 5.
It's gonna be 5.
Okay.
But because these are your notes and I want you to be able to read them, I'm going to keep it as minus minus. Minus minus becomes plus plus.
And then
Just think about example 4. Steven. Example 4, are these right next to each other or are they separated? I'm
Separated.
asking him.
No, they're separate.
They're separated by a 6. They're not right next to each other like this. So, this is not plus plus. This actually would equal negative 9. Example 5. Colin, is this gonna be a plus plus at all?
No.
Because they're not touching? Cool. What about these two?
One.
And even if they're in parentheses, it counts. They're next to each other. So this is actually going to become plus plus also.
oh, so wouldn't it be like
So if you go like this, plus plus, this is the same thing as negative 6 plus 2.
so it's negative 8?
No.
No, negative.
Negative 6
No, negative 4.
plus 2 is going to be negative 4.
Okay, now.
We were, so thinking about the hot air balloon, it was at negative 6, and it got rid of 2 sandbags. It goes up to negative 4. These are going to be the toughest ones, I think. Like this. Last example. Find the difference between 32 degrees Fahrenheit and negative 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Should be the elevation. Should I change this to elevation? We don't. Yeah. We'll keep it later. We'll keep it. I do want to show you a video on elevation though. It's they have this 3D like green screen thing, and they talk about like the hurricane and how the water levels are at like 3 feet, 6 feet, and 9 feet. It's scary, like looking. If we get done with this, I'll show you right now. But we got 5 minutes left. Is that what you're asking, or you want to know what time it is? Yeah, we have 5 minutes left. All right. What this question's asking is, if you're at 0, and the one temperature is 32 degrees, and the other one down here is negative 10, it's asking, what is the distance between those two, pretty much? And how would you set this up as an expression? Everybody think they have this? Or Ethan? What's difference, man?
Difference means the amount of numbers in between.
Yeah, and it's in between, which can be found by subtracting. When I said, what's the difference in age, that means the space between the ages. Alright, so this would be, did you still want to try setting it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it'd be 32 minus 10.
Minus negative 10.
Negative 10.
Yeah, and then that would give you the answer. Is this going to become a minus minus becomes plus plus? What do you think, Jessica? So is it going to be plus plus? Yes. Minus minus becomes plus plus. This is the same thing as 32 plus 10, which is going to be 42.
What's the difference between 10 and... Oh, you are right. Oh. Oh. You just... I was thinking it was negative 30.
Here, I'm going to try to play you that video. Somebody want to pass this out and make sure everybody gets one? Somebody want
I can so this is all the notes.
Hey, stop moving around. Wait, don't move around. We're passing stuff out. We had a few kids say, I didn't get it. So part of the problem might be you're moving around.
Sit down for a minute. Like,
Let me stop recording.